Hi everyone, I'm Teacher Don and we will discuss about the product process and schedule design of the facilities planning and design. So our learning objective here is you will be able to learn the product process and schedule design functions as they relate to facilities planning and understand the interaction between facilities planning and the product process and schedule design. So in product design, diba, the main question here is what is to be produced. So product design involves both decide which product are to be produced and the detailed design of individual product. Then the decision regarding the products to be produced are generally made by the upper level management. Then the design of the product is influenced by aesthetic, functions, materials, and manufacturing considerations. So part pa rin dito yung mga support department like the marketing, purchasing, i.e. manufacturing engineering, product engineering, and quality control. So that affects the design or that will influence the design of the product. So in product design, we have the product determination and the detailed design. So sa part na to, ito yung product determination that involves the decision with the upper level management that influence yung design ng product natin, di ba? So in detailed design naman, we have the exploded assembly diagram, exploded parts photograph, and the component part drawing. So tatlo lang yung yung tools na gagamitin natin for the detailed design or the product design. We have the exploded assembly drawing, 'di ba? So when we say exploded assembly drawing, ito yung detailed detailed drawing, 'di ba, na ng product natin. Andito yung mga part numbers, yung mga dimensions nila, 'di ba? So nandito sa exploded assembly drawing. On the photograph naman, the exploded parts photograph, ito yung actual na parts ng product natin. Actual parts, okay po. Kaya lang naka-exploded pa rin siya. So kung ang difference ng drawing tsaka photograph, ang drawing is more on the sketch, 'di ba? While the photograph, the exploded parts photograph, ito yung ito yung actual parts or the components. While the component parts drawing naman, ito yung detailed drawing ng bawat components natin o ng bawat parts, 'di ba? Kung makikita natin sa exploded assembly drawing, yun yung kabuuan, kaya lang hindi pa naka-explode lang sila, 'di ba? Exploded lang yung drawing natin. While dito sa component parts drawing, each component have their different drawing, 'di ba? Andito na yung mga dimensions, ano pa ba yung mga nandito? Dimensions, specification, 'di ba? Ko for us to fabricate the product or yung um, anong tawag dito? To make or to make the product, 'di ba? Yung specification niya, yun yung magiging basis natin dito sa component parts drawing. Also, it is the combination of exploded assembly drawing and component parts drawing, 'di ba? Kaya meron tayong kaya mabubuo na natin yung design ng product. Okay po. Next, sa product design, we have different drawing system, 'di ba? We have the computer aided design or the CAD, 'di ba? Doon tayo minsan nagdo-draw or nilalagay natin sa CAD yung mga drawings natin, 'di ba? For the specifications and dimensions. So we can use also the concurrent engineering na used to improve the relationship between the functions of the component tsaka yung cost niya. Then functions are integrated to reduce the elapsed time required to bring a new product to the market. Then in concurrent engineering, 'di ba, may mga considerations tayo in terms of design phase of the life cycle. Number one, yung product itself, then syempre yung design ng product natin, yung materials to be used doon sa product, and manufacturing processes kung paano natin ipoproduce yung product, diba? Then the testability, serviceability, quality, and reliability. So, ayun, to to summarize with the product design, we only have three detailed design. Okay po. So once na na-identify na natin o na-determine na natin yung product, we need to have the detailed design like the exploded assembly drawing, exploded parts photograph, and the component parts drawing. So next, for the process design, ito naman yung how the product is to be produced, 'di ba? We will decide kung the component or the parts will be purchased or produced. So, sa identification ng process, we have two tools na ginagamit, the parts list and the BOM. So, punta muna tayo sa make or buy decision. So, sa make or buy decision kasi, 'di ba, sabi nga natin, ang process design is how the product is to be produced. And then for the make or buy decision, 'di ba, we will decide whether these components or part to be produced or purchased. So may mga component kasi na hindi na natin kayang i-fabricate dahil medyo complex. Kaya may mga components tayo or parts ng product natin na binibili na lang natin sa labas, 'di ba? Or nagpapa-contract tayo, nagpapa-subcon tayo for that particular component. So, when produce naman, ibig sabihin, or make, sa make or buy decision, kaya natin gawin, 'di ba? So, sa make or buy decision, uh, it is very crucial kasi you will consider also the cost, 'di ba? If you will make the product or if you will produce the component rather, or you will buy it or purchase it from other producers ng mga components na yon. So, igagawan natin siya ng parang decision analysis kung ang component ba is kaya nating i-produce or not. Okay po. And then, so, sa identification ng products, we have the parts list and the BOM. When we say parts list, ito yung component parts of the product. Ibig sabihin, andito natin makikita yung part number, part name, number of parts per product, and then yung drawing reference. So, magiging reference natin sa parts list is the exploded assembly drawing and the component parts drawing, 'di ba? So, ito yung magiging reference natin para makabuo tayo ng parts list. And then, after ng parts list, magkakaroon naman tayo ng BOM, second product identification, diba? Process identification is the bill of material. Usually, ang bill of material is a structured parts list. It contains the hierarchy referring to the level of product assembly. So, sa structured part list kasi, meron tayong mga level of hierarchy. Pag sinabing level 0, ito yung final product. Then level 1 applies to the sub-assemblies and components that feed directly into the final product. The same with the level 2 refers to the sub-assemblies and components that feed directly into the first level. Kung may level 3 ka naman, 'di ba? Mga sub-assemblies and components that feed directly into the second level. Yun yung level 3. Ganon din sa level 4. Okay po. So, makikita natin to dito sa bill of materials ng ano natin na naka-table. So yung level 0, ito yung yung final product natin. So yung level 1, ito yung sub-assemblies and components needed for the level 0 or for the final product. And then for the level 2 naman, kung titingnan niyo dito sa left side, diba? This is the sub-assemblies and components needed, diba? To produce the level 1 product. Okay po. Nakukuha ha? So next, after the identification ng process, we need to select the required process. Kumbaga, the question is how the products will be made, 'di ba? Kung sinasabi natin sa process design how the product is to be produced, dito naman sa selecting the required process, how the products will be made. So, we have the route sheet. So sa route sheet ang ano natin dito is the output of process selection identifies processes, equipment, and raw materials. So after natin ma-identify yung mga components and parts together with the bill of materials, pupunta na tayo dito sa route sheet, 'di ba? Output of the process selection. Ibig niyang sabihin. Okay po. It is the sabi dito, output is generally given in the form of the route sheet. Okay po. So sa route sheet, makikita natin dito yung mga process, equipment, and raw materials na kailangan natin. And then, ito yung example niya, yung operation number, description type, machine type, yung tooling, yung setup time, operation, then yung materials. So, after natin ma-select yung mga processes, diba? We need to identify the sequence. So sa sequence, it is the method of assembling the product. We have three sequence tools or charts na ginagamit. Sorry, excuse. We have the assembly chart, the operation process chart, and the precedence diagram. So sa assembly chart, 'di ba? Familiar naman tayo dito at alam naman natin gumawa nito. It shows how the components are combined, 'di ba? So usually ang nagiging reference natin dito is the BOM, 'di ba? The easiest method of constructing as assembly chart is to begin with the completed product and to trace the product disassembly back to its basic components. Parang ito lang yung binaliktad na BOM natin. Okay po. So next, the operation process chart gives an overview of the flow within the facilities. So ibig sabihin, andito na lahat, 'di ba? So kapag alam naman natin kung paano gumawa ng operation process chart, 'di ba? Kapag sa vertical line, horizontal line, ito yung component parts natin na gagawin, and then yung vertical line, ito yung mga processes, 'di ba? Para mabuo natin yung isang assembly. Okay po. So usually ang OPC is the combination ng assembly chart tsaka ng BOM. Okay po. So sa precedence diagram naman, ito yung establish the precedence relationship. Ibig sabihin, dito papasok yung pinag-aralan natin sa OR2 na per CPM. Okay po. Ito yung precedence diagram. Yung sabi nga, 'di ba? Precedence relationship. Diba? Next, for the schedule design, the question here is the when to produce, 'di ba? So, there are three requirements for the schedule design, and I will be discussing that three procedures na yon sa other lecture video natin. Okay po. We have the quantity of the product o yung scrap estimate tsaka yung reject allowance problem. And then the equipment requirement, the equipment fraction, and the machine assignment problem. and the operation requirement. So yung tatlong yun, i-discuss ko separately with with sample problem. Okay po. So sa design as a process requirement for schedule design, ito yung production requirement. So ito yung formula niya. I'll be discussing it on a separate lecture. Okay po. So in terms of facilities design naman, diba? So how can we relate the product process and schedule design sa facilities design, 'di ba? So sa facilities design ay sa product process and schedule design, it's more on quantitative approach tayo doon, 'di ba? While sa facilities design, it's more on quantitative, qualitative approach, 'di ba? Kumbaga, we need to identify the acceptance nung PPS natin, nung product process and schedule design, 'di ba? So we have 7 management and planning tools. So if you are familiar with this is the qualitative data or approaches. Iba pa yung 7 quality control tools. Yun naman yung mga uh, histogram, 'di ba? Check sheet, Pareto. So, yun yung 7 QCC tools. Sa 7 management and planning tools naman, sabi ko nga, this is more on qualitative data or approaches. It's more on descriptive. Okay po. So, we have 7 MP tools or the management and planning tools. We have the affinity diagram. When we say affinity diagram, it is used to gather verbal data such as ideas and issues and organize it into groupings. In other words, we organize the large number of ideas into their natural relationships. Okay po. So next, for the interrelationship diagram naman, it is used to map the logical links among the related items, trying to identify which item impacts other the most. So in other words, it shows the cause and effect relationship, 'di ba? Nung problem or nung yes, the problem itself, 'di ba? And it helps to analyze the natural links between the different aspects of the complex situation. Next, the tree diagram. So, used to map in an increasing detail the action that need to be accomplished in order to achieve a general objective. So, uh, to summarize tong tree diagram, diba, ibig lang sabihin nito, we break down the broad categories into finer and finer level of details. Kumbaga, from general, 'di ba, to specific. Ito yung tree diagram. Kung titingnan nyo dito sa example, we have the product family formation. This is the general. Okay po. And then, yung finer and finer details, level of details, 'di ba? We have the four tawag dito. Next level niya, ito yung mga finer details niya. And then, lastly, ito yung pinaka-specific details for the product family formation, 'di ba? So, tandaan, general to specific tree diagram. Okay po. Next, the matrix diagram. Sabi dito, organizes information such as characteristics, functions, and tasks into set items to be compared, 'di ba? So, it shows the relationship between two or more groups of information and can give information about that relationship, 'di ba? For example, dito sa parts usage team, we have the team participant, the team coordinator, and the team leader, 'di ba? So sa part usage na to, itong mga to, they can give information in terms of parts usage, 'di ba? So hindi naman sila pwede magbigay ng information with the demand forecast team, 'di ba? Kasi ito lang um, yung alam nila na information o na data. Okay po, yun yung matrix diagram. Next, contingency diagram maps conceivable events and contingencies that might occur during implementation. It is particularly useful when the project being planned consists of unfamiliar tasks. So, in other words na lang, no, para mas maintindihan natin itong contingency, ito yung in-identify natin yung potential problems with the process or a plan, 'di ba? Parang nagre-risk assessment tayo dito sa contingency diagram. The next, I think you are familiar with this, with the activity network diagram, 'di ba? Meron tayong earliest start, early finish, late start, late finish, 'di ba? If you are familiar with the PERT CPM, ito na 'yon, activity network diagram. One, management and planning tools. Okay po. The next, prioritization matrix. So, it provides a way to sort a diverse set of items into an order of importance. Okay po. Ibig sabihin, uh, we can sort the set of items, diba, according to their importance. So, ito yung prioritization matrix natin. Okay po. So, parang ganito siya. Diba? So, as you can see, we have the criteria and itong ABCD sa left side natin. Ito yung mga activities and then we have ito yung mga activities, yes. Then the criteria, diba? Ito yung nandito sa yung K. And then the row totals, ito yung prioritization matrix natin. I mean, prioritization matrix. And then yung value na makukuha natin dito, ito yung kung gaano sila ka-importante. Diba? So, ito yung prioritization matrix. So, that's it. So, to sum it all, diba? With the management and planning tools, you need to identify the affinity diagram and also the interrelationship diagram to form a tree diagram. Diba? Sa tree diagram naman, it can be used for the prioritization matrices. Ito siya, diba? You can use it for the prioritization matrices. And then, also, sa matrix diagram, you need the tree diagram tsaka prioritization matrices para makabuo ka ng matrix diagram. Then sa matrix diagram naman, you can proceed with the process decision chart or the contingency part na ito and the activity network diagram. Okay po. So thank you for your attention and may the odds be ever in your favor. Thank you for listening and keep safe everyone. For any questions, i-discuss natin yan doon sa group natin or you can call me pag na-view nyo na tong or na-view nyo na tong lecture natin. Okay po. Anytime, pwede po. Thank you.